Yo, yay! Welcome everybody to another Haulamania video. This is May 2018 and I've been going a little bit wild in Poundland. So these are all the Eleanors I've managed to pick up at £1 each. So all you eBayers out there again looking on eBay, you're seeing them at £5 a pop. Shocking really, but I guess that's how eBay works. People buy in bulk and then they repackage or re-administer the goodness to everybody else who can't be bothered to go to Poundland. And of course this is the greenlight Eleanor, and it's absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, it's got engine details, it's got inserted headlamps, it's got rear plastic or, you know, glistening clear tail lamps, beautifully decaled. Absolutely gorgeous model, a real must-have for anybody out there collecting. It's even got silver rear view lamps, you know, look at those. That is just serious amount of gorgeousness. Mark was actually on Instagram a couple of weeks ago now, and he actually brought to my attention and probably the world's attention that there is a variation, and it's not obvious as you look over the whole model. It's basically the same model, metal base, rubber tires. There we go, got the same wheels and all that kind of stuff. But if you look very carefully, you notice the tail lamps. And the majority of these models do have this. The majority have the plastic, but there are a few out there with cast-in tail lamps. And the same can be said up front as well. As you can see, it's got cast-in headlamps too. And slightly different spot lamps at the front too. The other thing I can notice about these two cars is the running. Now this one very nicely runs. This one, oh dear, it sounds like a bag of old nails. Goodness me, what a thing. But anyway, there we go. Something to look out for. Oh yes, the market was good, and I found a bunch of Siku, which I'm going to show now, but I'm not going to unbox because obviously I want to do little videos on them. First up is this Porsche. It's a bit battered there, but it's quite nice, little Porsche Cabriolet. Got them all for £1 each, and this will probably end up in Florida, this particular example. Got myself another tank. I do like the tanks. I think I'm going to get the tank out because I think we've all seen this tank enough times now. And for £1, it's a welcome addition to my little platoon. I still need another one to make up a full foursome. Very, very nice piece. As you can see, they're made in China. It's quite an oldie. Again, remember, these all cost £1 each, so it's all good. This is quite a new model, and I was really surprised to see it come up at £1. I've been seeing this, obviously last year I saw this for sale for £6. Very nice model. It's got all the essential details that we've come to expect from Siku. Here's another piece, fairly new, the Audi R8. I think this is still made in China or thereabouts. Yeah, made in China. So not the brand new stuff, but still nice nonetheless. And I don't actually have this particular variant of the R8. I think that's out now as a police car as well in a 3-pack. Very expensive, mind you. Here's a very interesting piece, and I'm looking forward to releasing this one probably around, I don't know, when it's snowing. This is a piston bully, some kind of snow plough. Look at the size of those tracks on there. Quite an interesting piece. It's probably about 1/87 scale. It's very light, actually. Got a feeling that most of this is made out of plastic. And finally, life would not be complete without a little bus, and this is very nice indeed. I've been trying to pick one of these up. Very expensive though for the size. It's about £4 for one of these. So this is a nice piece to my 3-inch bus collection, and I will be opening that when I do my bus collection videos, which I'm thinking will probably be sooner than later. I think I'm going to do taxis first. Also from the market, I managed to find another one of these. This is the V100 Commando vehicle, made by Corky Jr. It's a nice solid metal chunk of awesomeness. It is missing one sticker down the side there, but overall condition is really, really good. I actually have one of these already in my collection, so this is number 2. And you can't have too many military vehicles of the same ilk, because you can make squadrons of them, and they do look good when they're all squadded up. So that will go with my, I don't know, I suppose my recon platoon. Very nice piece, that. Bit of a amphibious vehicle. Also, in the Corgi theme, I found one of these. This is the James Bond series from Corgi. Yes, it does look indeed a lot like a Johnny Lightning. Main difference between this and a Johnny Lightning is the wheels. As you can see, the wheels on this are your plastic, I suppose, the 2-piece wheels. As you can notice on the bottom, it does actually stamp up as Corgi. But if you look carefully on the box, you will see it is made in China. And I do believe it's made by Playing Mantis. There we go. Made by Playing Mantis. So it's exactly the same series that Johnny Lightning released. It's just that Corgi managed also to buy into the project and produced some equally nice models. And this is a very fine example. And we'll be going into probably my Johnny Lightning releases when I do choose to break into those. Wow, look at that. So yeah, it's desperate to come out, really, isn't it? And this is the, what's this one called? I think it's a Lotus of some sort. Looks like a Lotus Elise, is it? A Lotus Esprit, maybe? Let's have a look. There's the Esprit. It doesn't say. There we are. For your eyes only. And it's really hard to make out what it says on the base then. Let's have a look. Nothing on the base. But yeah, it looks like a later Lotus Esprit. which is cool. It's the rounded, more rounded body style as opposed to the more angular style. This is the one that went out eventually when Lotus stopped building these. It's not bad. Bit of overhang up front there, maybe. Here's a nice piece. I picked this up for £1. It's some kind of no-rev promotional piece. As you can see, it's made in China. It's a Peugeot 908 RC concept car. Unfortunately, the packaging is a bit ganky, so let's get it out and have a look. Never seen one of these before. Probably never will on the roads, that's for sure. But the usual no-rev attention to detail there. Interesting single piece steering wheel moulded into the body. You can really see that because of the open roof effect. Would be nice with the tint actually, that roof. But we have the usual no-rev plastic headlamps up front, and these are individual inserts. Very nice, very sharp actually, very sharp front end. Lovely, love these wheels. Wow, look at those. They are complete bling. Bling-tastic. Usual no-rev tampoed rear lights and the big old line from Peugeot there. Individual circles for the exhaust ports. Smooth base. Imagining this is probably some kind of electric car. Very luxurious though, isn't it? Imagine being transported around in the future. Seems to have an engine up the rear. Maybe it's possibly a hybrid of some sort. I have no idea of any of the details on this car. It's probably around about 156 scale as well, given that's the general scale that no-rev releases their cars at. But yeah, very nice, very sardonic actually. I do like that. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it into my collection, but for £1, yes please. So yes, for £1, still looking at things for £1 each. This was £1. I know it says £3 there on the top of the box, but this is a rather interesting piece. Basically, I picked up the Johnny, well, Corgi Lightning Praying Mantis thing for £8, and I had a couple of pounds to spare for my £10, and I thought I would pick up a couple of interesting pieces. So I got this one. You've seen this casting before on my channel, probably this is the third time it's appeared now, and in a different livery. This one is a collector's model, it's made by Matchbox. Doesn't look like it is, it's an Australian post vehicle of the Model T. I think it's a 1921 Ford Model T in 152 scale, so it's quite a big old scale. But for you Australians out there, if there's anyone out there from Australia that really desperately wants this piece, then let me know down below, or PM me, because I can send it to you. There you go. I know I've got a couple of Australian viewees out there. So that's a rather nice piece actually. It's in very good condition, and of course I'll send it in the box, which is being resealed as we speak. The other piece I found, which I think is of interest from the market, is this piece here. This was a couple of quid, this particular one. It's a Chevy Blazer. It's very dilapidated though. It's suffered quite a lot in its box, considering it's actually in there and it's not, the seal is not broken on this box at all. It's from 1981 or 82, so made in Macau. I believe this is was an old Kenner casting that Matchbox bought up and resold or repackaged and put a new base on to make it into this particular vehicle, the 4x4 Chevy Blazer. It's even got a special number, MB50. But as you can see, it has seen better days, even though it's never been out of this box. But anyway, I didn't have one, and I thought I'd get one. Beautiful, SP7. I'm actually after the K5. There is a K5. But I grabbed this one anyway. Well, and my final purchase from the market for this particular episode is this K15 double-decker bus from Matchbox, Super Kings. And you get a free Super King t-shirt. You've got to see a leaflet inside, which I'm afraid this box does not contain. As you can see, you've got quite a historical packaging situation here. Very nice indeed. One thing I didn't note on it was the date of release, so we'll have a quick look at the base there. You can pause it if you want to. 1985, there we go. So this would have come out around about 1985-86. And there's some other vehicles that were released at that time. This is the Made in Macau period, I believe. So this will probably be Made in Macau. There we go. I love that tanker. I really want to get a big tanker. So you may well see one of those appear at some point over the next year or so. They're very expensive. I like the greenlight one in particular. So anyway, let's have a look at this thing. So what do I get? What do you get for a couple of quid down the market? Well, basically, essentially, you get quite a good condition piece of kit. You see, this bus is destined for Westminster Abbey, which of course is where the Houses of Parliament are. This one's on a worldwide tour, and I think you can probably see Westminster Abbey. Well, not really. There's St Paul's, that's Tower Bridge, there's Big Ben. That looks an awful lot like the Black Tower, or Tower of London. So there we go. Now, unfortunately, this bus has been customised by its previous owner, and as you can see at the front there, someone has tried to insert some side markers, or blinkers we like to call them in the UK. And has also highlighted rather dramatically the lights, and they've done that by scratching away at the paint. You can see that there, and that process has been repeated around the bus. You can see down the bottom there, someone has scratched all that away. I guess that's some sort of emergency release brake. Oh, who knows? Who knows? Fuel. If we go around the back here, it's got a few other annoying bits and pieces. I'm very tempted, I think, to replace the paint. Just paint over some of this stuff that's on here and return it in some degree to its original condition, which would have just been basic red all over. They've also attacked the wheels with these brown. Unfortunately, that's a shame because these are nice big old super fast wheels on there. Take that off with some thinners or something. I just don't know. This paint has probably been on this bus for quite a few years. You can see the original date of release was 1972. So this is pretty actually still, it says on here, made in England. Another interesting feature on this bus is this huge cavity at the rear here. Now this is a 1986 release, and in 1972 when it was first released, this bus would have come with a little bell back here, as well as an opening door. But there would have been a bell, a lot like a bicycle bell, and you can see it would have been inserted in this space here. And also on the side there's a little zone there, I'm sure, for the clicker. So it would have been making a bit of a ding ding noise, which would have been so cool. But I believe that the cost of producing that particular variation or that situation was expensive and very time consuming, and was soon dropped. So those buses, if you've got one of those with a little bell in there, it'll be worth quite a lot of money now, I should imagine. Or at least it's a very rare piece, because it wasn't around for very long. And there we go. The Londoner in monster scale.
And a little opportunity to see some of the custom work that I do, or refurbs, reconditions, whatever you want to call them. I recently got a batch of stuff from a friend who I've mentioned before, goes along to auctions, and he picks up big boxes of, a lot of it looks like junk to most people, but if you're a die-cast collector like me and you like doing stuff up, you go, there's some interesting stuff there. Now, it didn't look like these ones. I was very selective what I picked out, so I'm going to go through these one at a time just to show you. I've stripped the paint off these, okay, and had to do a little bit of tidying up and correcting. So this is the Matchbox Comma Ice Cream Van, or as it's rather curiously called, the Ice Cream Canteen, sort of betraying an era that has long since passed British sort of quaintness of descriptions. Anyway, waffle, on and on. A waffle with your ice cream, sir, or otherwise. There's a little chap inside with his window at the top to illuminate him. Lovely little model, this one, and I will show you what happens when you take it to pieces. Now, this base is not actually the one that went with it. I had to exchange it, but there's the base. Not much to it, really. So this dates from around about 1962, thereabouts. Try and show you all this stuff now quickly. It's not going to come out. Yeah, well, we'll use our imagination, but anyway, you can see there's a clear piece there and the insert there. So I'd taken all this lot to pieces and cleaned up. It's very, very grubby indeed. Stripped all the paint off, obviously without all these plastic parts. And then I had to wire brush it down because all the bits that don't come off. So you can see the interesting patina of the metal. That's because, you know, the material it's made out of, which is called Mazak, or is a magnesium zinc alloy. You know, once it solidifies, you get to see all the metal textures. And remember, this is from a very long time ago now, so we're talking, what, 53 years ago? These lines around here show you where they put the decals on at the factory because they needed a guide. So there'll be a decal that went on there, decals that went on the side. You can see these little lines here. These are guides for the ladies in the factory at Hackney in East London. So they knew where to put the water slide decals, because that's what they were. They were water slide decals. It's before we had tampo printing, and before when they more commonly used stickers and decals, water slide decals. Imagine that. And the rate of production of these things going through the factory at Hackney. They were producing thousands and thousands of them. Anyway, enough on that one. Let's go to this one. It's not a Matchbox, it's a Husky, which of course, if you know your stuff, this was a small scale corgi stuff that was produced exclusively for Woolworths, a department store in this country, but also in America. And this is a Martin Walker, Martin Walter, there we get it right, Ford Transit Caravan. Now, Martin Walter, I believe, went on to become Dormobile, so a lot of people will know that name. They made mobile homes and caravans and mobile caravans. Nasty cut on my hand there, from a wire brush, no doubt. Anyway, this was red. I've cleaned it all up. Lovely wheels on this. This is sort of late Husky period before it went to Whiz Wheels with Corgi Juniors. That's what they rebranded it as. This one does come apart more easily, hopefully. There is your suspension unit, which is basically a piece of steel wire holding everything down. Somewhat reminiscent, really, of Majorette, I suppose, which use a similar system to this day, although they have it going around on both sides of the axle. Here is the interior. Look at this. This is wonderful. There's your sink and your hobs for the little mini cooker. These are rear seats which have been folded down for the purposes of this, but would go up like this so that you can have two seats inside. I would imagine this was a cupboard of some kind, so you can store your clothes, because obviously you can going away for the weekend or holiday time. Notice the three-pronged, three-spoked wheel, different from Matchbox, which at that time always used to have this rather crude four-piece. I'll show you that in a second. Anyway, that's that. Devil to clean this off, this red paint. It just didn't want to come off, and you can see there's still bits left there. So some paint will stay on longer than others. Red and orange. Orange is awful for getting off on most models, because I think it's to do with the compound of the paint, because of the way that it has to adhere. But you know, I'm sure someone could tell you. It's all to do with pigments. Right, and then this one here, which is another Lesney Matchbox. As you can see, it is a Pickford's removal van, or Pickford removal van. This is in fact a Guy Vixen. Okay, and if you have a look, you can just make out the word Guy on the top of the radiator. Incredible casting. This dates around about 1960. You've got the little plastic shutter at the back which goes up. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute when I take it apart. And this is well known as being one of the most well sought after models when it appeared in a sort of milky gold colour with Bielsons, a department store in the south of England on the coast in Bournemouth. Had like a white star with Bielsons across here. You can see lines here again. This is registration marks for putting the decals. On this one it would have been green, and it would have had Pickfords on it, because Pickfords used this particular kind of vehicle. Let's show you the inside. Let's show you there you are. That keeps that part so that it can go across, as we saw before. It will roll over the top of there. Very clever stuff. And look how many parts. 1, 2, 3 with the axles and wheels. 4. That's it. No glass, no interior. And the guys moan about things now. Oh, there's no interior. I'm joking, but you know, 4-part rule. It's been around before. Here's the Ferrari by Matchbox. An awful lot of people are sought after these. Originally came out with the traditional wheels, non-superfast, came out in green, a metallic green. Then it came out in red with the 2-piece wheels. And then when superfast came along, for literally about a year, it was fitted with superfast, and again it was red. Well sought after model. This, in fact, was a red one. Yes, I am mad, am I? No, it was disgusting. A kid had painted over the top of it with more red paint, and there was yellow paint all over the wheels. These aren't the original wheels. I've replaced them because they had paint over them too. Took a lot of cleaning off, but we got there in the end. You can see this casting is at the end of its life because of the loss of detail around these headlamps. Look, you still see the prancing horse there? See that? Very fine die casting. Originally would have come out, I think, around about 65, 66. This is the real car, the Berlinetta 250 GT, I think this is. In fact, they just call it the Berlinetta, which is a particular body style. So, what I'm going to paint this, I don't know. In fact, I don't know what. This one is going to be pink, and I'm going to get the decals from Steve Flowers Model Supplies. So I'll have the Lions made ones over it with pink, so it's a bit like Tony Bell. If you're old and English, you'll know what Tony Bell is. If you're not, look it up on the internet. It's spelled Tonibell, and a whole world of interesting things there if you like old stuff that's British and you like ice cream. That may be orange, this may be black, and this, I suppose it has to be red, but maybe it doesn't. So we'll wait and see. And I'll put them up on my Instagram page when I've done them. So have a look at Can-Am Customs. You may need to scroll through. They will be on there eventually. I will take a picture of them, or they'll appear on video. And that's me done with me thumbs. And right, look, that's from scratching away, taking paint off. I need a respray. Right, see you later.
Wow, Modelmatic car, amazing. Yep, they sent me a big box of one car. well packed as usual. Very excellent service that they provide, packing note, and of course the regulatory sticker. Awesome stuff. And what did they send me? Well, you won't believe it. Well, you probably will actually. It's the 1976 Ford Gran Torino Starsky and Hutch car. Wowee, absolutely awesome. Wow, can't wait to get this one out of the box. I need some police in my life of a good scale too. So let's check it out. Okay, I've cut away the blister and there it is. Let's get it out. Wow. Oh, I think I cut it. Yes, I did. I did. Awesome. Brilliant presentation as usual from Greenlight. Been looking forward to seeing this casting. It's a brand new one from Greenlight. I'm really enjoying their newer castings, mainly because they are not sporting those great big steamroller wheels that they used to. It's a very nice piece actually. It's got a metal base. Ooh. Rubberized tyres. And look at that great detail. There's the little light on the top that Hutch has to throw out on the top there. It's got a few paint issues on the roof here. It does actually look like it's been smashed around already. That's a bit of a shame. Oh well, maybe that's it's an interesting situation there. Oh, I've probably got the only one with that going on in the whole world. Dear me. But apart, goodness me, look at that. It looks like that thing comes off. Gosh, I don't know. Anyway, besides that, let's have a look around the back. It's got nice detailed rear lenses. Yeah, considering I'm not going to be buying another one of these, I'm a little bit disappointed with some of these casting flaws. You can see there we've got a notch in over the top of the lights. Some of the black there is looking a bit worn as well. That's probably from being in the packaging for so long. Go down the side there. Nice Starsky and Hutch stripe. I remember when these were all the vogue back in the mid-70s. People used to paint their Escorts and their Marinas and all the rest of it. Totally inappropriate cars. They used to paint those little old stripes on there. Quite a lot of flashing around the headlamps. Modicum of detail up front there. Very nice grille. But there we go. Yes, I need this car for a police chase. But you've probably already seen the police chase. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it in the program, but let's have a look. Does this lid open up? No. There we go. Look at that. Let's have a look under the lid there. Oh, we've got a nice little blue block. A little Ford V8 probably. It's a small block V8 probably. Not too bad actually. You've got a lot of lid there for only a tiny little bit of engine. Right over the top of the wheels as well. Wow. Of course the old Torino and Starsky and Hutch. Absolutely synonymous. Appears in every single episode. It's always out there somewhere chasing after the bad guys. Solving the crimes with little miscellaneous clues. Probably one of my favourite programmes from that period as well. Used to watch it religiously every Saturday. There we go. There's the brand new, well to me anyway, Gran Torino Starsky and Hutch car. Isn't she gorgeous? Shame about the flaws. Oh, that was alright.